Well, welcome back everyone to another Scrapping Irish video. If you're not already a subscriber, hit the subscribe button there if you don't mind. Really do appreciate it if you take the time to subscribe to the channel. As you can see from this one, what have I got? I've got the pinless CPUs. So we have a good pile of pinless CPUs, and I'm going to try and get the gold from these. So the main thing on these CPUs is you have your copper heatsink. So that, even though it doesn't look like copper, that usually is copper. And we have our board, and we have some chips in the center, our little resistors and stuff like that. Sometimes you might have some MLCCs, but mainly it's just things. So as you can see here, it's just the gold flashing on there that I'll be looking to get off, and I'll be holding on to the copper. And sometimes you may get some pastes underneath which will have some precious metal, so I do usually collect them up as well and put them into a jar and hopefully deal with them at some other stage. So what we're going to do is we're going to go outside and we're going to get these, we're going to put them in a vise, and we're going to get a chisel, and we're just going to knock the heatsink off the back of them, and then we'll move on to the next stage. So let's go back and get onto the workbench and get these done. So again guys, if you haven't already subscribed, please do, and let's get out there and let's get this done. Okay, so we're set up outside, and you can see I have my vise, and I just have my little chip put into the vise. All I'm do is get a chisel, small little chisel, set it up in behind there, and a couple of whacks of the hammer. Oh, one chisel. Make sure I get the right chisel. So that just removes the cap. So we've removed the cap. You can see there's some little dies on it and some other stuff. So we'll just throw that in there, and then we have our little gold plated pinless CPU with the part I need. So that's stage one. So I'm going to carry on doing a few more of these. We don't need to be zoomed in that much now anymore. So I'll carry on with these. Okay guys, so I think you get the gist of what I'm doing. Just knocking the caps off. So I'm going to continue on doing these. I'm not going to make you watch all the way through that. I've just done a couple of speed up ones here, so you can see they're in here now. So I'm going to do the rest of them, and then we'll come back once I have them all done. Righty then, so we have removed all the heat sinks from the back. So you can see them there, and as you can see in the heat sinks, you can see this goldish colour around there. So that's I'm going to leave that for another video, what I'm going to deal with them. But that's the heat sinks after removed. So there, your copper. So we'll do another video on what I take out of them and what I work with them. So now I'm left with these. And again, I don't want these sinters ending up in my liquid. Because it's all little bits that I have to filter out and mess around with to try and make it out. So what I do is I get my little tin snips, and all I do is cut along so that I end up with just like that, and then I'll do the same here, and then I'll do the same again. And then we're left with, once I cut this one off, so we're left in with just that centre, which I will put aside, because sometimes you might get some MLCCs on them, which you can see there. So I'll keep them, and I'll remove the MLCCs from them, and I'll put them in with my MLCCs, or I might do them as a separate item. So there's my little bits that I'll be putting into the copper chloride, which is copper chloride that I have left from previous videos and previous stuff that I've been doing. So again, it's straightforward. We just get the snips and we go as close as we can to the centre. We just cut straight across, and again do the same along here, and again. So I didn't get as close as I'd like to have got on that one, because you can see there where there's a line of dots that I missed, but we won't worry too much about it. We should have enough. So again, just like that. So this time that's a lot tighter cut, which I wanted to get. So that's kind of what I'm going to do with the rest of them, so that I'm left with all of these cut bits of the board. So that's all I wanted to get off. So I'm going to continue cutting the rest of these, and we'll come back once I've all that cut, and we'll go on to the next stage. And again, probably the greatest value at the moment of all that would be probably the copper would be worth the most from it. The gold won't, the amount of gold I'm going to get from this is going to be very little, maybe a gram, maybe a gram and a half if I'm lucky. No, maybe I might get more, I don't know. We'll check it once I put it into the liquid. We'll be able to work out, well, once I've done them I'll be kind of able to work out a bit of a weight on it. So you can see that's a nice one there that has no centerpiece at all. So it has some stuff here on the back. But I'll probably remove them with a heat gun or something like that, or just scrape them off before I put them into the thing. So that one there had a full actual gold, so that's quite nice. That can go in as it is, I don't need to cut it up. So I'm going to continue on with them, and we'll come back once I have them all cut, and we'll see what kind of weights we have, or what amount we have. So let's see how we got on with it. Right, so we have trimmed all these back, so you can see here that they're just full ones, so there was no need to trim them back, so I just left them as they were. There's a few little bits on the back that I could remove, but I'm just going to actually leave them. There won't be that much work to getting rid of them. And then I've trimmed off all the rest of them, so we have our nice shiny gold there, and hopefully when we get it into the acid we'll get that removed from it. So my plan is to actually just use the copper chloride that I have left over from previous removal, where I removed from the gold from the ink cartridges, when I removed them from the BGA chips, stuff like that. So that acid is still active, so it should be okay. So I'll put it in the bubbler and we'll see how much of the gold we can get off. And then I may need to add some more hydrochloric acid as it as the copper goes into the solution to release the gold. So if it slows down and it's not releasing all the gold from these, I'll just add more hydrochloric acid to activate it a bit more on it. So we might as well go out and have a look at it. But beforehand, I was just going to show you, these are what I cut off the back, and as you can see, there is some small MLCCs on it, and then there's some of these other little things. So I'm going to remove all them eventually and process them just to see if there's any value in them MLCCs, because again, we have all of them in there that I can get out of it. So I'm going to definitely do that at some stage just to see what's in them MLCCs. So let's go out, let's get the acid going, let's get the bubbler going, let's get them into it, and we'll see how we progress. So away we go. So here we are outside, we have our bubbler going. So as you can see there, the acid is bubbling away, gloves are on, acid is bubbling away, and all we're going to do is we're going to add these into it here. So I'll just spread them around. So just try and get it spread around the acid as best I can. I will stir this up every couple of days. I'll probably leave it running for 3 days, and we'll come back and have a look at it after 3 days and see how it's progressed, how we got any gold floating around. So that is it there, working away. So I'm just going to put a cover on that. So we'll put a top over it, and we'll let it bubble away for 3 days. So we'll see what it looks like in 3 days. So by the magic of power, when I come back, 3 days will be gone. So 3 days have passed, and you can see here now that in there it looks like there's nothing in there. We'll zoom in a bit. So we'll tilt the camera a bit. There we go. So it looks like there's nothing has happened, but if we stir it up, we can see the gold flakes all floating around on the top of that. So that means, well, it doesn't mean anything to me, it just means for me that I need to filter some of this out. I'm sure it hasn't all been done yet, because I did put a big pile of them in there and the acid won't be able to get around it all. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to filter out these and put it back into the acid again for another couple of days. So because I'm no panic to get it out, so there's no need to be panicking on getting it finished quick. It's just, I just need to filter it out. So while I'm filtering that out, I'm just going to pause the video. I'm not going to bother showing you filtering it all out like I usually would, because you all know how to run it through the filter. But what we'll do is we'll show you afterwards how much gold flakes we got and what's left to be done yet. So let's see how it turned out. Okay, so I have drained the water, or not the water, but the acid off, and you can see here there's still a lot to be done in here. There is a lot of gold flakes all around it. I still have these ones draining, so you can see the gold in there, and I have another one going here, another one going there, and I also have still a jug here to be put through the filters yet. So just pour some more of that into the filters. So the plan is, I'm going to, let me just fill this one up. Plan is, I'm going to let them continue on to filter. So you can see they're just filtering away there, and I'm going to put acid back in here. So the acid I've drained off there will be going back in here because it's still doing its work, and I'm going to leave it for a few more days. I'm in no rush really to do this. When it's ready, it's ready. I could probably add more fresh acid and make it work a bit quicker, but I'm going to try and get as much use out of the copper chloride I already have without having to add any more acid. When I see that it's no longer working, I'm not getting any more flakes out, then I will add more acid to it. So I'm just going to let them filter out, dry them out, put them in a little tub, and carry on with this, and we'll check back in a few days and see how the next filtration goes, and hopefully it will be completely cleaned off, or more or less ready to be washed off. Any more of it left, because it's still, we'd say, having a look at these big ones here, so like the likes of that, if I rub my finger on it, it's not removing an awful lot of it, is it? It is, I suppose. So you can see there the gold is coming off on there, so it is loosening it up, but it hasn't taken it off enough yet, the acid, because again I put a lot in there, so the acid needs to circulate around. So I'll stir this up as well as putting the bubbler on it. I'll stir it up every couple of days or every day, and let the acid attack more of the thing. So you could put in smaller amounts and it would probably do it a bit quicker, but I just wanted to see how to go with the whole lot in. So again, I'll just filter off the last of these in through the filters. So I just need to wash that out and get them gold flakes going through the filter. So all I'm going to be doing is I'll be setting this up again with the bubbler in underneath first and adding the acid into it. So again, just set your bubbler underneath, put your pipe underneath for the bubbler, add your acids on top and let it bubble away, and then I'll stir these up every couple of days to get the next load of the gold. You can see the gold there. I'll wash that off the gloves, and we'll be ready to go on the next one. So just wash them bits of gold off down into that thing. This is what distilled water, so let that go in there, and set up the bubbler and that. So guys, we'll check back in a few more days and we'll see how we got the rest of this off. Okay, so I've let 3 more days go by and we're ready to filter the next lot. So again, you can see that the flakes floating around on top there. This is what I got from the last filter, so it's not a lot, but they all add up. So you can see them in there, the little gold flakes floating around. So I'm going to filter this again, same way as the last time, just by putting that in. And that's just filtering down through these 2 filter papers that I've gone here. So I'm going to continue doing that, and we'll come back and see what we have in the filters once everything is filtered through. Right, well, the filtering is still carrying on, as you can see over here. If I tilt you up, so you can see the gold flakes in there floating around in the solutions. But here we are left with these, which, if we look at them, they still have gold attached to them, but this gold is very, very loose. So all it needs to do is be washed off it, rinsed off it. So that's what I'm going to do next. I'm just going to rinse all these off, rinse all the gold flakes into the little bucket here, and then filter them as well. So again, I'll just do the other side, because you'll have gold flakes on both sides. So that's what I'm going to be doing next, and I'm just going to be throwing, if there's any gold flakes still left on them, I'll be throwing them back into a solution to get them loosened off. So that's what I'm going to do next, guys. So again, you don't need to see me go through every one of these, but you can actually see that the gold flakes are on there. And then if we give it a quick wash, now gold flakes are gone. Now again, as I say, there will be maybe possibly some on the back, so I'll just wash it off as well. So that'll take a bit of time, but I'll continue on doing that. I could put in water and rinse, keep rinsing and trying to do it, but I'll have a lot of water to deal with at the end, which will contain some copper chloride in it. So it's easier to do this, so it's going to be less water at the end to be dealt with, contaminated water to be dealt with after it's filtered through. So I'm going to carry on that and we'll see what we ended up with. Right, so I've got to the end of these. I've washed, you can see them in here, all these foils. So they're little bits and pieces and stuff that's got in with them. But I've washed them as best I can. And we have here, you can see some foils that I've been filtering out already. So all I'm going to do now is I'm going to add the last of these. I'm sure there's more of bits and pieces I have to get yet, but this will do for the moment anyhow. So as soon as I add this, we should be able to see a lot of gold foils appearing. So, and then we have a second one that I've gone as well. So again, we'll move this one back, let it filter away. I had to come indoors because the rain arrived, so I had to venture back in to finish it. So I just have that filter down there first, and we'll just get the spray and we'll get these sprayed off into it. So we'll let that filter out, drain out, and then I'm going to let it dry in the filters, and then we can add what we've got to the first little batch that we've done already. So you can see here, this is the first batch that I've done. So and there's still more in here, and I have a little bit more that didn't come off with the washing even, so they're gone back in to be done again, but I'll leave them. I'm not going to, they'll be left to be, I'll leave them till I don't know, a couple of weeks. I won't even go near them because I don't think I will need to go near them for a while. I'll just let them think, because all I'm doing is collecting up the gold at the moment in the flakes, as I said already in previous videos, and I'm adding them to flakes that I've taken from other stuff. So we'd say like what I have in here. So in this jar I have more different stuff. So once we get these ones dried out from these and what's in here, I'll add it all into this, and that will be used in the future video. You'll see coming up what I plan on using these to help to neutralize some of my batches of stuff that I've already got in Aqua Regia. So I'll be using the gold to try and neutralize as much of the nitric as possible. So hopefully that will work for me. So that's why I'm collecting it up, and it'll mean that I'm not wasting as much acid and getting the full value out of all the nitric acids and everything like that. So that's the plan. So let's see how these dried out, and have a look at the nice lovely gold flakes, but you can see it in here already. So you can see them nice gold flakes. So I just wash them down into the center so that we get a nice pile in the middle. Makes it easier to get them out of the filters in the end. So it's just a matter of letting these dry after everything is drained through. Once the sun comes out again, I'll leave these outside to dry, and then it's just a matter of brushing these off, cleaning off the filters. I hold on to the filters. I say I will do a video at some stage of what I do with the filters. I never, because there's always little flakes that you can never get out of them, small little flakes, but they all add up if you have plenty of filters. So that's the plan. So let's see how we ended up with. Right, so I've left that to dry overnight, and this is what we have here now inside our filters. You can see the gold flakes, you see some down along here all over. So my plan now is, so we've more in here, is just to brush them into here. So straightforward, I just take the filter. First thing I do, I turn the filter upside down, and I just tip out any flakes I see. So you can see there, the flakes have fallen down, and then I just get the brush and lightly brush off the rest of the flakes that I can get off. So there will be some that won't brush off, which is just the way it happens to dry into it. So then, ooh, better brush the other side now. So you can see that from the filter paper drying out, the acid had ate some of the filter paper away. So I'll just put that aside. I always double layer the filters. So again, the second filter, anything that gets through the first filter gets caught up in the second filter. Or anything that goes down between them. So again, it's just a matter of sweeping them out into the jar. So that's the first two filters. So we go to the next one. So again, we take the top filter off. Just doing this off camera, sorry guys about that. So we have the top filter taken off, and again it's just a matter of turning it upside down and shaking out what I can first of the gold foils. There we go. So, and then get the brush, and again just brush what I can of them into the container. Okay, and now the second filter. So again, there's not as much in the second filters, but there's still some in there. And that is it. So then you can see in here, brush it all down into the corner. That is our gold from it. So as I say, that will just go back in with these ones that I'd already previously done. So we just tip them in there. And get the brush again, and we just brush in the last of them. So there's our gold flakes from the pinless CPUs. So not a huge amount, but it all adds up. And as I say already, the plan is to put them all in together, so there's no point having them in two separate containers, because I'll be using all the gold flakes together from different things, and it shouldn't make any difference at all. So again, we'll just tip them in here. So the container is getting a little bit more full. So we can see all our gold foils in there from different operations. So I still have more stuff that I'm running, and that'll be added to that, and you'll probably see in some videos later on that will look a lot fuller, and you'll be wondering what happened. It's where I'll have done more pinless CPUs, or I'll have done more RAM chips, or I'll have done more stuff, and I just haven't put them into a video because I'd have already previously done them in a video before. So it'll be a chance for you maybe to go back and look at some of the videos that I've done already, where you can see how I got these flakes from different things. So from mobile phone boards, or from things. I might do videos every so often again on RAM, how to get it off RAM and stuff like that, because some people might be new to the channel and they don't go looking through all my videos to find it. So I may do a new one again on RAM sticks and stuff like that. But that's it for this video, guys. So thanks for watching, and I hope that showed you how to remove the gold foils from the pinless CPUs. So that was that video. So catch you on the next one, guys. Thanks for watching.